Jack, how are you? 1 second. It's a fire niggin.
Fire. Ahavat Zusha. iPhone, welcome.
Let's
go,
iPhone has
Jack.
so much potential.
Who's iPhone? Who's iPhone? iPhone has to reveal himself. Yisroel, iPhone has to reveal himself, and then we're going to continue the niggin.
Steps.
Potential
It's
to be anyone.
nice. Okay, we're. All right, Chavra.
Jack,
Here,
what's the name of that niggin?
it's called the Gershon Albert's Niggin Hoda'a. It's Zusha. He came out with it a couple months ago. We couldn't listen to it for a while. Baruch Hashem, we're back, preparing for Hanukkah, preparing for Rosh Hashanah. 48 days right after Tisha B'av. I hope everyone had an easy and meaningful fast. 132 days until Hanukkah. We're ready. Atfil b'shem kol Yisrael for Pesach. Re'upim b'nu sefer Sarah Baruch Abbas Yehudi Tzmiyum D'Ruz Chanu Chevet. Yonah Bas Basi Ashir Bas Basi Sinai Re'upim b'money in every neshama in Klal Yisrael. Help us judge ourselves, Ribono Shel Olam. Help us achieve a state of calm concentration every day, so that we'll be able to examine ourselves carefully and weigh our various activities and involvements for ourselves. Let us decide if it is right for us to spend our days acting the way we do. God forbid. God forbid. Help us sustain our concentration for long enough to be able to examine ourselves calmly, without allowing any thoughts, our thoughts to wander, avoiding what we have to confront. That's huge. Allowing our thoughts to wander or avoiding what we have to confront. Let us follow this practice of calm self-examination persistently and diligently. Bezrat Hashem. Chavra, we've been talking about the halachos of mezuzah, and this is the biggest one. If you're following the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, the R scroll, page 134, Chelek 23, we're almost done with this chapter. Siman Yud Aleph. We have three more halakim, and this really, this halacha really just shows us the significance of a mezuzah, the importance, the impact, the awareness of the mezuzah, and how special the mitzvah is. Bezrat Hashem, our eyes should be open, our hearts should be open, and our vessels should be able to receive this to the deepest depths. Halacha l'maisa. A person must be extremely scrupulous with the mitzvah of mezuzah. This is a little bit longer one, but we're strapping in. Because it is a mitzvah that is obligatory on all people, right? That is both men and women, at all times, both day and night. Every time that one enters or leaves through the entrance, he encounters the testimony of the unity of Hashem's name, right? It says, the first verse of Shema, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, right? Hashem, the English translation, the whole thing, everybody knows. And where do we have here? I've lost my place. That is the name of the Holy One, blessed be He. Upon encountering this, he will remember the obligation to love Hashem, right? The Hafta Is Hashem Elokecha, so on and so forth. and he will rouse himself from his slumber and from his preoccupation with temporary and unimportant affairs. And he will comprehend the truth of the fact that there is nothing that a person can attain that lasts forever and for all time, except for the knowledge that a person attains in the rock of the ages, Hashem. Chavra, I'm sure you guys were aware of this before we've just gone over this, like the importance of the mitzvah of mezuzah, like literally walking in and out, seeing the mezuzah and what it allows you to think about and to completely change your mindset, your thoughts. I'm sure you guys were aware. This is the first time I'm seeing this, and it's mamish unbelievable. It's instant dveikut. It's instant dveikut, and it's everywhere. And we'll see what that means later. Upon contemplating these truths, a person will immediately return to his moral senses and follow straight paths. This is just by looking and kissing the mezuzah. Our sages of blessed memory said, whoever has the filling on his head and on his arm, tzitzit strings affixed to his garment and a mezuzah affixed to his entranceway, it can be presumed that he will not sin, for he has many reminders of the fear of Hashem surrounding him. We all know, and this is just unbelievable. This is like the tzitzit. When you look at the tzitzit, right? Our sages tell us the numerical value, the CC, the 13. I forget like the exact combination, right? The eight ties corresponds to 613 mitzvot. And when you look at the CC, you see the 613 mitzvot from Rashi. In one of the
It's the 5 knots, 8 strings, and then the gematria of tzitzit is 600.
5 knots, 8 strings. There you go. That's why we have Yisroel on perfect timing. And we have the mitzvah, and we also know from the Vavi Mishkan Evne by why am I forgetting the author? Anonymous, though. When he wrote the Sefer, it was anonymous. He tells
iPhone.
What?
The author is iPhone.
The author is Mamash iPhone. It would be Jeremy, right? He tells us that the whole goal is to be dveikut. So what do we have to do? We have to constantly remind ourselves of dveikut. This is what the mezuzah and the tzitzit are telling us. But he also tells us to literally write on a piece of paper dveikut. To write on a piece of paper something that will allow you to attach yourself to Hashem and keep it in your pocket. Look at it every 15 minutes. Think about all the entranceways and all the exits that we're passing through every single day. And that's just another reminder for dveikut. These mitzvahs themselves are the angels that save him from sin. As the verse states, the angel of Hashem encamps around his reverent one, and he rescues them. And the cover, this is the biggest one. This is the biggest one, and we have to open up ours. The sages of blessed memory further say, in Shabbos 32b, due to the sin of neglecting the mitzvah of mezuzah, one's sons and daughters die on lo aleinu chavra. Conversely, whoever is careful of the mitzvah of mezuzah, his days will be lengthened, as the verse states in Devarim, regarding the observance of the mitzvah, in order to prolong your days and the days of your children. So, however, mitzvah mezuzah is huge. It's huge. Now, transitioning to Ahavat Yisroel, transitioning to Achdut, transitioning to peace. Mezuzah is all about that. But we all know Rabbi Nachman says, before we enter, that every day we draw nearer to our dying day. Every breath, cover. So what does Rabbi Nachman say? Who has time to quarrel? Who has time to conflict? Who has time to argue with people, to disagree with people, to hate people? Chas v'shalom. Our every single breath is another day, is another breath that's closer, right? So we have to know what the main what's it called? The main thing is the main. I don't know. Keep the main thing the main thing. I don't know. So the third point of Itchemeyer is 10 points, 10 kudos for Achdut, for Ahavat Yisroel. He says in Gimel, Al Yidei Sheyosiv Shalom Ba'olam, by adding shalom to the world, in the world, by you being you at your core, Yizkeh L'Kol HaKedushot Sheba'olam, he will merit all the kedusha in the world. So what do we know from this? Rav Itchemeyer continues and he says, Ki ha beha taliyah, that they're intertwined, they're dependent on each other. It's hard to see the Kedushas in the world if we're not bringing peace to the world. And he ends this Nakuda, Shishnehem Heim Midat HaYisod. And both of these are in the Midah of Yisod. Now, I'm not a Kabbalistic master, and I don't know the 10 spheros and what they all mean, but we all know the simple translation of Yisod, which is foundation. So we all know bringing Shalom to the world, which is X, enables and allows us to see and experience the Kedusha, which is Y. They're together. And we'll see what the importance of peace is in just a moment from the lens of Rav Shlomo. Peace is the most important thing in the world, Chavra. And we all know that, according to Rav Shlomo, the greatest light in the world is peace. So the biggest question is, do we know why there is no peace in the world? Why is there no peace in the world? Why are we constantly fighting? We all know the Rabbi Nachman quote we just went over. We don't have time for this. But why do we still do it? Because the world is into force. Rav Shlomo says, first they force war on each other, and now they want to force peace upon each other. We're literally seeing this in action b'poal with Israel right now, right, with the ceasefire. But it doesn't work. It doesn't work, says Rav Shlomo. Peace by force isn't peace. Peace is the most non-forced thing in the whole entire world. The whole world wants to have peace, right? We don't want to be fighting. We want to be together. We want to be connected together. We want to have achdu. We want to have avas olam. But we don't know how. So Rav Shlomo says, stop doing it with your hands and do it with our hearts. The world would really like peace, but they don't know what it is, says Rav Shlomo. And they don't know how to get it. So imagine we go into a hardware store to buy ice cream. They won't have it there. Actually, maybe the hardware stores, will have it. Like the freezers outside, the little packaged ice cream, but they won't have it. They'll buy some. They won't have the soft serve. People would like to have peace, but they're always going to the wrong store. They're always going to the hardware store. They talk to the wrong people about it. Peace between people is not something you can work on. It's a gift, the highest gift that there is from heaven. Peace is the greatest light which shines from Hashem. There's more here, and we're going to, Mamash, this is the biggest Torah in the world. The biggest Torah in the world, just a couple more lines. Rav Shlomo says peace means we do it with all of our hearts, with everything we have, every ounce of energy. Every opportunity we have to bring peace in the world allows us to see the world in Kedusha. The whole idea of peace is not to lie. So every time one person yells at another person, he brings war into the world. And each time a person says words of love to another human being, he brings peace to the world. Sometimes we don't want to make peace with someone because we have lost vision of how that person could be. This is the biggest two lines in all of Shas. We'll repeat it again. The biggest line we just experienced, Shabbos Chazon, and it's right here. Sometimes we don't want to make peace with someone because we have lost the vision on how that person could be. So the highest peace between people is when we each know how the other could be and how they will be. How they will be. So peace is vision. Peace is vision. It's having that vision of ourselves, of where we are, of shleimus, and then understanding we are in a broken world, but understanding how to use the broken pieces and making it into a vessel. Same too with people. We all come from the same source. We're all B'Tselem Elokim. We all have that Chiluk Elokam Imal Mamish. How can we access it a little more? How can we add those pieces together of brokenness, rip away those pieces of dirt, wash away the dirt, and bring those words of love into the world? Bring people together, holding hands, arms around each other, praising Hashem, praising themselves, praising each other. and enough with conflict. We don't have time for this cover. Bezrat Hashem, we should have vision. We should have mechazeh or chozeh, one of those words. Bezrat Hashem, bring more peace into the world, Chavra. Vision is.
Jack, thanks so much.
You're the best, Brachi. Health. Be well.
Chazak. Toda.